What is up, guys? Today we got some not so great news. Well, it's not really news, but like a renewed discussion from just the online space and also just people playing the game NTE right now. So if you have been paying attention to some of the buildings, some of the art in the game NTE, some of the train stations or maid cafes or whatnot, you'll see some pretty generic looking art. Looks kind of weird and boring, but like I guess it's fine because it's not really supposed to be real art. It's just some design to make the game look more immersive. But this situation has taken a dark turn as once you go to the internet and look at what people are saying. I'm gonna stop beating around the bush and I'm just gonna tell you that a lot of these is probably created from generative AI. And we're gonna be looking at this one tweet right here that got like 2 million views, 24,000 likes. So it's not a small issue. And if you look at these two images right here, it seems like the game has been caught red-handed creating AI art using this shot of weathering with you. Now, I don't know if there's any chance that this art is like just maybe it's just traced over, maybe it's still hand drawn by someone, they just trace it or something or inspired from it. And then they just change some of the colors, like make the guy a bit more generic looking with his eyes and hair, make the girls gray kimono looks black, replace fireworks with the clouds. But let's look at the tweet. Not only is this game still full of Gen AI on launch, they straight up stole this shot from Weathering with You and read it through AI. And this was a response to the devs interview where they said, in the latest dev interview, they finally addressed the AI misinformation spreading on the internet about NTE. Yang Li said that our assets and character portraits will never use AI. Oh god, they're actually saying that they never use AI. They will only use AI to test atmospheric renderings, and everything will later be created by the developers. So a common point that we see from this game is that they might be just using the AI for some of the concept art and then they're just inserted to the game as like placeholders. They're gonna replace it soon in the future. Maybe they just forgot to like replace it when the game launched, so the game is just launching with a lot of generative AI in there. So looking deeper into what the developer said in this image right here, that gaming thing said, many projects are now promoting AI GC with what is the attitude of Sihuan towards AI in terms of technology and art. Yang Li says, our bottom line is very clear. Our core assets and character portraits will never touch AI. Second game, players buy emotional value, and everyone is disgusted with spending money to buy industrial assembly line products. We will mainly use AI to run some atmosphere renderings to see if it's a feeling we want as preliminary work for finding references and a lot of trial and error. So developers are saying they're not that big of a fan of AI, which, you know, it's hard to believe when you're seeing all these Gen AI in the buildings. Maybe it's all just PR and professional wording. Maybe we don't really care. And rightfully so, everyone is criticizing NTE for this. And you know, random buildings aren't the only thing that people think this game is using AI on. As you know, I feel like some of the stories, like the Taquito story, just feels like a chat GPT story. Some of the characters are very generic looking. Could have been like AI reference a bit, but I think some characters are more like inspired from like other gacha games, not necessarily AI. So this could either go two ways for NTE, honestly. Either they replace their placeholders with like real art, or they just keep all the generative AI in. And as you know, I feel like nowadays Gen AI is getting more and more normalized by mainstream society. It might be a bit inevitable, but you know, there is still quite a lot of pushback when it comes to Gen AI. I also seen that a lot of people are just not going to play the game at all just because it has Gen AI. So there's two types of people, right? Some people who just don't want to play the game. I see like a lot of people just uninstall the game already. And some people that are, you know, like me, who's just tolerating it barely. Tolerating a little AI won't do that much harm, hopefully. But let me know in the comments, do you care about AI or generative AI specifically in gacha games, especially this new one in NTE? Does it affect your experience? Are you playing it still? And I'll see y'all next time.